Well, hello there. Welcome again to Kiwi Steve's Global Kitchen. And as you can see, this is not my kitchen. It's my daughter's, and I'm in Sydney, Australia. And if you watch the end of this video, there's a great little montage and maybe a video of Cronulla Beach. Probably the best beach I consider in the whole of Australia. It's fantastic. So, I'm just watching the oil here. I've done a lot of preparation first because of time, and well, time is the essence, isn't it? So this is an Indian dish, another Indian dish, but hold on, we got some other dishes coming, some Chinese, some Thai, maybe some more Russian. But today is a fantastic lamb curry, and oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful a lamb delight is what I call it. And I've already made the marinade, which was 1 teaspoon of tumeric and 1 teaspoon of garam masala with about 2 to 3 cups of natural yogurt with some salt, and I mixed it all together, and so I put it in the fridge overnight. So I cut all the lamb up, put it in the fridge, and it should have marinated right through and be very tasty. So what I'm going to do now is, of course, in the comments section or further down you'll see the whole recipe for cooking this anyway, and it's one of my favorite Indian dishes, but it takes a bit of work if you're doing it manually yourself. So what I've done is we've done the marinade. So I've also cut up where are they, a whole lot of onions. Here they are. I've got about four onions, big onions in here, which I've cut up. So now I'm going to put in with my oil, to start with, a teaspoon of cumin powder and about 10, you can't see them, but they're cloves. So we're going to put those in with the oil. Well, today's story too. Should I talk about Russia or leave it for another day? So we've got the cloves are cooking and 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder. So we'll put that in. Give that a bit of a mix. Smelling very nice. And we need 1 cinnamon stick and some bay leaves. I've got a couple of big bay leaves, or maybe 4 little bits. Break it up, throw that in there. That's looking fantastic. Oh, I'm looking forward to this because I'm cooking it tonight for everybody. Okay, so while that's cooking, I'm going to now make the paste. So we have a paste for this, and basically the paste is 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. So I'm going to put those into my little bowl here. 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder. You know, turmeric powder is very good for you as well. And 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili powder. So why do I have 2? Maybe it sounds like it might be too hot, but you know, there's a lot of yogurt in this too, so it kind of nullifies that really, but brings out all the flavour. So we'll put a bit of water with that and give it a bit of a mix. And we'll set that aside, and that's cardamom and everything's cooking there, beautiful. We're now going to throw in the onions. Right. So now's the time to talk, I suppose, about what happened on my trip to Russia. Or should I leave it for the last episode? We have to cook the onions really until they're going brown. It takes about 15 minutes. But anyway, while I'm doing that, I'll quickly tell you about what happened to me last year when I was on my way to Russia, to Moscow. I went to Belarus, and I really enjoyed my time in Belarus. It was fantastic. But I was supposed to get an immigration card in Belarus, but because I was there for only 6 days, I didn't get one. And I hopped on the plane to Moscow. And then I joined the line when we arrived in Moscow. And I saw a sign that said, International Travellers. And I asked the official, should I go there? I said, I'm a foreigner. She said, no, you stay in this line. You came with the Belarusian flight, that you have to go through with the Belarusian flight. So anyway, I did that. It was a very slow process. Anyway, I get to the front, and I get to the immigration lady, and she's looking really puzzled, looking at me, looking at my passport, looking at me, looking at my passport, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a bad sign. Am I gonna suffer the Inquisition here? They're gonna take me away? Haha. Just check on the onions. Anyway, she goes away, and I thought, she goes off to see the superior. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm in real trouble here. They're going to come and take me away, and they're going to make me sit down and ask me, where have I been, and go through my laptop and go through my phone. Then she came back, and she sat down, and then she began stamping. And I thought, whew, that's all right, I'm okay. Then she gets a big magnifying glass like this, and she's looking at my passport again, and looking at the visa. And she looks up at me and says, oh, you're a tourist. I said, yeah, I like Russia. You're a tourist. She got shocked. Well, surely tourists are still coming in, but probably not from Nova Zelanda, New Zealand. Maybe from other countries like India and China, etc. Friendly countries. New Zealand is not on the friendly country list, sadly. But you know, when you have that sinking feeling, I thought I had the immigration card, but when I went through to get my bags, I didn't. She never gave me one. I thought, this is going to be a problem. So anyway, I got registered with the various hotels, etc., etc., and that was all fine. And I get to Siberia, and they said that I had to register because I was staying with my friend, Victoria, and so we went to register, and they asked, where is your immigration card? And I explained to her what happened, and Victoria explained in Russian as well. And so anyway, she gave me a form, and she said, if you have any trouble, please give them this. So I thought, I better look after this like it's gold. It might save my life. I just checked this. I'm going to put some salt in here as well, but it's beginning to cook quite nicely, but it hasn't gone brown yet. So, what happens? Well, I had a great time in Siberia. What a beautiful place. And I finally was on the plane to Irkutsk, 2 o'clock in the morning, on an Embraer plane, and flying at 2 in the morning up and down, and it made sort of creaky noises. And we landed in Irkutsk, and when I went up to the immigration officer, she said, where is your pass, where is your immigration card? I said, oh, I tried to explain to her, but she just said, oh, go sit over there. So I went and sat there, and then this official guy with his uniform and his hat and all his lapels, and he comes marching up like he's on a mission, told me to follow him, took my passport. So we marched through business class, and everyone must have thought I was some sort of convict. And then he made me sit outside by, all I could see was the outside, and I'm thinking, is that the last of the airport I'm ever going to see for a long time? He goes into the room, and then I see some other officers come marching up, and they go into the room. It's cooking quite well. I might have to put some, I think we need to put some salt in here now. And then I'm going to put the paste in. I'm using rock salt actually. Sea salt, rock salt, sea salt, even Himalayan salt. The table salt's no good apparently. No good at all. So now we'll put the spice mix in. because the onions are starting to look a bit browner. And we're going to cook that. Maybe I'll just mix it and let it stir it and cook it for another couple of minutes. So, after about 20 minutes I'm still sitting there thinking, gee, I hope I'm not going to miss my flight. And so he comes out and he says, follow me, come in here. So I go in there and there's three of them. I thought, this is the Inquisition now. And he wanted to know where I had been. Well, he knew where I had been. He wanted to know, he didn't believe my visa was a proper visa. And I said I got it from Sydney, the consulate in Sydney. He said a bit, and then he said my invitation by the travel agent was, the agent was not a good agent. He said that not a very good agent. Why did you use them? And I said, well, I found them on the internet. So anyway, he's looking at all this online, and I said to his assistant, I said, look, I might miss my flight if I don't go soon. And he said, well, I can't do anything. You talk to him. He didn't know much English, or maybe he didn't let on. Maybe he knew more English, but I don't know. I think they were just bored. Let's pick on this Kiwi guy. And so anyway, I was sitting there and things were not looking too good. Right, that's cooking well, so I'm going to put the marinade in now. Wow, fantastic. I'll just give that a stir. The key with, I'm shouting, I get excited. The key with cooking this lamb curry, oh, that looks fantastic. The key with cooking this lamb curry is giving it plenty of time. I've got a hot pot here. Oh, not a hot pot, sorry, a slow cooker. And rather than spend, maybe you could spend, if you don't have a slow cooker, you can spend probably maybe an hour and a half stirring it and on a low heat, and that would do the same job. But I'm going to put it on this, I'm going to do the initial cooking now for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to put it in the slow cooker for at least 4 hours on low, and maybe just turn it up a little bit to high for the last 30 minutes. It just absorbs it and it draws the water out, and it makes it a lot thicker, and oh, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I'm gonna put a little bit more yogurt in this too. So at the end you can add some more yogurt if you wish. We'll just put a bit more in there, depending on if you think it's too watery. Just put some more yogurt in. Anyway, I'm sitting there with this guy thinking, what's going to happen? I'm going to miss my flight. Am I going to jail? What's jail going to be like? Well, at least maybe I could do some cooking. Anyway, then I remembered the piece of paper that officer gave me in Novosibirsk, and I gave that to him. He looked at it and then he said, who are you staying with in Siberia, Novosibirsk? I said, I'm staying with my friend Victoria. He said, do you have her contact details? I said, yes, here's her phone number. So he goes back online and he's looking, and then after about 5 minutes he stands up, he walks towards me, hands me my passport and says, have a good day. I said, thank you, I'll see you next year. But anyway, next year's now and I didn't go. I thought I'll leave it for a year. Anyway, I think I'll fly out of a different airport next time. I won't go that way again. I think they're a little bit more enthusiastic when they see a few foreigners from another country like New Zealand, an unfriendly country. So that's my story. That's how I almost ended up in a Russian prison. Well, I suppose my Russian language might have improved a lot better, and I might have become very good at cooking borscht, which I'm going to do someday. Borscht, I would like to cook that. So I'm going to carry on here. I'm going to finish now. I want you to have a look at the video on quinoa at the end and tell me what you think. I'm sure you'll like it. I'm sure you want to come to Sydney and you will want to go to Quinoa Beach. When I finish here, I'm going to put that, after another 15 minutes, 10 minutes stirring, I'm going to put that here in this 4 hours, maybe half an hour at the end, a bit higher to thicken it up, and I'll have to show you a photo. So take care. Hope you enjoyed the show, and well, Monday I'm on another flight. We'll see you at the next destination. Take care. Bye bye.